1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another deadline stream, the 32nd deadline stream of the season. You know what that means? There's only 6 left, right? I don't know why I always have to count. 38 minus 32 should be pretty easy, but I always feel like you just don't want to get it wrong and look like an idiot. But now I look like an idiot because I've had to count 6 from 32 to 38. Yeah, okay. So there's 6 deadline streams left. I am looking sunny. The sun is somewhat out. It looks like it's about to rain, but I've opened the blind, which is letting sunlight in because I need the window open. We're in that phase of the year now, stage of the year, where it's getting hot with a small office and computer on. So the window has to be open. I'm not going to keep answering about the blocks. I've done the reveals every time. I've done it for the Game Week 1 team. I did it for the World Cup team. I did it for my wildcard teams as well. The reason I'm doing it this time is just because I'm not locked in. I don't know what players I'm going to put in those 3 positions. I think right now it's Castagna. Right now it's Castagna, Gakpo and Jesus. But that could be Robertson, Odegaard, Solanke. It could be Gabriel, Gakpo, Solanke. I just don't really know. So if you don't like it, that's fine. There's plenty of other deadline streams if you want to go and watch them who won't have done that. Okay, not going to keep... No, there's no fake reveal this time. No fake reveal. You're not going to... Salah's going to be on... Or Salah's already there. But yeah, no fake reveals. Is Tony essential? No. Like, honestly, there's so many players you could have in this team. There's so many options this week. There's no massive amount of standout players. Like, I've even seen people going against Watkins because they want to go against the high ownership. People going against Trippier because they want to go against the high ownership. Like, if you want Solanke instead of Tony, or Jesus instead of Tony, or Kane instead of Tony, or Isak instead of Tony, you should do it. You should absolutely do it. Don't just pick Tony because I've got him. He was just one of those players that I kind of said a while back, if he's not banned or suspended by Game Week 32, he'll be in the free hit team. And so I don't really... Like, what's there not to like about Tony? The only reason I wouldn't go for Tony is if I think the Villa defence is now so elite he's not going to score. But I just... I can see and appreciate that Villa have improved, but I don't think it's to a point where I'm worried about having Tony against them. Like, he's everything you could want in a player, right? Nailed on penalties, blah, 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 blah. And on free hit, like, think of all the questions we're going to get now until 6:30 about, is Gakpo going to start? Is Jota going to start? Is Jesus going to start? Etc, etc. No one's going to ask me about that for Tony, and sometimes you want players like that. It just makes life a little bit less stressful. He's... Good question. Tony has quite high XG last 6 game weeks than Solanke. Honestly, I'm not even checked. That could be true. I quite like Solanke as an option, to be honest. Solanke might still make the final team. I'm just not really sure. Is Tony going to start? And by Tony, I mean Jota. I mean, personally, I think Jota will probably start. But the reason I'm not really too worried about Jota is I just think there's less... Like, Gakpo fits in nicely because he's a midfielder, whereas I think there's lots of good, solid forward options. Like, if you've got Gakpo, it means you probably haven't got, like, a Bowen or a Maddison or an Eze or someone like that. And any of those 3 players could be great, but I think I would prefer Gakpo. Whereas up front, is taking a risk on Jota starting worth it over a Tony, a Watkins, a Solanke, a Kane, and Isak? Maybe not quite so much. Play Solanke or Watkins? I'd probably play Watkins, I think. Won't hear any Solanke slander. Solanke XG over the last 6 is quality, but is it better than Tony? That was all they were saying. Bold 8 players. Honestly, I'll tell you right now. The players right now are Castagna. I'm looking on my other side of my screen. There's Castagna, Gakpo, and Jesus. I just don't like the third defender. So basically, I'm weighing up for the next hour and 24 minutes. Am I willing to go for a bad defender just to get, maybe a slight... I mean, I say differential. Every free hit's going to have Gakpo and Jesus. It's not really differential. Compared to non-free hitters, it might be. Am I prepared to just tank that third defender spot? Or do I go a bit more boring and go for a decent defender and just get one of the solid forward options? In which case, there is a lot. That argument makes no sense. You should be playing Gakpo over the extra mid anyway. I'm not sure what you mean. Have I still got Phoenix on in the background? Yes, I need to change it. Done. Change now. Is Gakpo X-Men not equally at risk versus Jota? Both can play up front. Yeah, but Jota's been playing on the wing. So the reason Jota started the last 4 is because he played right wing against Chelsea instead of Salah. Because Salah was benched. And we know that's not going to happen very often. So usually Jota is left wing and Gakpo is through the middle and Firmino is now out. So, by the way, I think people saw that Firmino was out and I tweeted that Gakpo's minutes will now go up. That is true, but I don't think it's like by a massive amount. He's not going to suddenly start being a 90-minute player. Solanke 3.3 versus Tony 4.41. Oh, including a penalty. Okay. So quite close then. 0.75. He's a little bit ahead. Have I considered Zuma? I have, but I just like cats. I don't think I want to back Zuma against Bournemouth. I think I'm going to back Solanke. 3 up front with Solanke or 5 midfield with Eze. So Solanke versus Eze, I think Solanke's better. What's your thinking for Castagna over Moreno? I mean, one of the reasons I got Tony is I'm pretty confident Brentford are going to score. And then I just thought I'd just pick a punt. Like I just tell you now, there's almost no good reason to pick Castagna. Like I wouldn't pick Castagna. That's what I would say. Like, Castagna's rubbish. Like, it's just... I don't... Like, Leicester are probably going to concede. He's probably not going to get an attack in return. Don't get Castagna. They did play a back three, against Man City. So if they keep that, he would be a wing back against Wolves, who don't score many goals. But the problem is they don't score many goals, and Leicester don't keep many clean sheets. So it's hard to know. Even with the few goals that Wolves have scored the last couple of games, their expected goals have still been pretty low. So I don't know. I think it's I think he's okay. Pink super chat, yeah. Thank you, Robin. We'll come on to that in a second. Okay, David. Castagna, Gakpo, Edouard, or Robertson, Eze, Tony. Definitely Robertson, Eze, Tony, I think. Well, then again, yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm not really sure about Edouard. Not on a free hit, but I'm on wild card next week. I need a goalkeeper and attacker. Right now I have Tony and Iheanacho. Already have 3 Arsenal. Rest of the team, no restrictions. Who would you buy? For this week, Johnston and like a forward. I would probably... If you're wild carding next week anyway and you've got a free Liverpool spot, I'd probably get Alisson. Right? If you're wild carding next week and you've got unlimited budget... Alisson and a forward that's not Tony or Iheanacho. Probably Watkins. Or Jay... No, sorry. Oh, no, you got 3 Arsenal. Yeah, Watkins, I think. As long as I've read that right. If I haven't read that right, please let me know. But yeah, I think if you're wildcarding next week, I'd definitely get Alisson. Because obviously you can just take that money back out afterwards. What the hell? I was going to avoid Jesus, but having checked his XG this season, matching Haaland, feels close to auto select. Yeah, so I'm going. I'm kind of going back and forward on Jesus versus like Odegaard, but I think Odegaard is just a bit too safe. And plus, I've got him in my own team. I think Odegaard is definitely going to get more minutes than Jesus. But I don't think for a 1 week punt I can go against Jesus if I'm going to go for a third Arsenal attacker. But basically, what I'm saying is I don't think I'm going to drop Jesus for Odegaard, but I might drop Jesus for, I don't know, Gabriel or someone like that. The thing is, I think he could get subbed just as early as he did in the last game. Like he might make it to like 60 minutes. Then he's going to be at risk of coming off. Jesus and Robertson versus Gabriel and Gakpo. Yeah, I think when you put it like that, I think Jesus and Robertson make sense. But like everyone else, I'm very tempted by Gakpo. I don't know. But the thing is, you can have both. You've just got to tank that third back, I think. I hope this isn't going to now be the case from now until deadline, because that's going to get very annoying. It's happening on a lot of streams. No, that was my internet for sure. You obviously think Tony against an informed Villa is better than Solanke against West Ham we play Thursday. Can you expand on your thought process? Yeah, Tony's been great. Tony's just been great. Like, there isn't really much of a thought process. If you think Solanke's better, you should go for him. There's hardly anything in it. Honestly, there isn't really a massive thing that puts Tony ahead. I wanted him weeks ago, and I haven't really seen anything that makes me want to change my mind. I don't think that the Villa defence is now a worry. I don't think that they're so high up now we should be worrying about them, basically. And we're back for another FPL video. Absolutely. Any chance for Simicast starting tomorrow? You'd assume not, but I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there is part of me that thinks if I go for a Liverpool defender, I should just go for Van Dijk, just to be absolute certain. Kian, Salah, Martinelli, or Jesus for captain? Salah, 100%. Like, Salah captain is one of the most obvious things for my team this week. Like, I see one of the only things that's 100% locked in. If I'm getting rid of Kane on free hit, I trust him so little and have no Spurs players, is no Pope Trippier share a consistent good differential? As in, like, you're going to back triple Newcastle defence just because you don't have Kane? I think that's a bit over the top, personally. I don't think the chance of a Newcastle clean sheet is that high, but we'll see. I like Edouard as a bit of a differential, probably on penalties. Yeah, I find it hard to go too differential in the forward line because you've only got 3 spots and there's lots of good options, to be honest. Are blue checks on Twitter now less reliable for team news? Well, yeah, because anyone can get one, right? I could go and set up a fake account of a blue tick and tell you any kind of news, really. Spurs scored 11 in last 5 games with Kane scoring 5 of those. Newcastle aren't as defensive they were early on the season. Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of underappreciation for Kane this week. But at the same time, I'm not going for him. I'm going to back against him. They have had some pretty good fixtures, by the way. They've played Bournemouth, Everton, Southampton, Forest, Wolves, Leicester in that time. So they've had some pretty good fixtures. Newcastle away is a lot tougher than any of those I just said. And by the way, I just kind of with that Tony versus Slanky question, right? Like, there's tiny things that are making me lean one way or other. I promise you, lots of the calls this week are very close. Don't go with what someone else is doing if that's not what you want to do. More so than normal, honestly. If you don't want Watkins, you want to go for Slanky, do it. If you don't want Tony because you think he's just not that good, he's blanked a few times recently, don't go for him. Do I not fancy a 3-5-2? So I briefly looked at it earlier, but it would basically be 3-5-2 with Odegaard instead of Jesus. So I figure I'd just stick with Jesus and go 3-4-3. Like, do I think that Madison, Bowen, Andreas, any of that, or Eze are better than Watkins or Tony? Not really, to be honest. You don't want a rubbish defender, but you want Gakpo and Jesus. Well, you've got to have the rubbish defender. There's no other way around it. Well, there is. You start dropping Martinelli, Salah, etc. How am I going to get my Brighton players back? This is a free hit team. I should probably put that in thing. No, I think it's pretty obvious. Am I going to get my blue tick back? I mean, maybe one day I'll pay for it if I think there's a need for it, but I don't really care that much. The problem is the blue tick used to be good because of the way they handed blue ticks out, but now everyone's got one, so it's not kind of as useful, to be honest with you. Thinking outside the box, Saka out for an Arsenal defender. Nah. Saka's nailed for me. Newcastle to keep a clean sheet 13-8. Kane to score 15-8. No, I don't. There's some benefits to having a blue tick, so I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm just not really that bothered right now, to be honest. I'll see how things go. Not on free hit, but on wildcard 33. Kane or Jesus for Game Week 32? I'm going to say Jesus. I think it's quite close. I think people are saying that Jesus for 60 minutes is definitely better than Kane for 90. I don't think it's quite that obvious, but I'm going for Jesus on free hit, so I'm going to have to say Jesus. Rashid, pick one for free hit team, Isak or Solanke. I'm going to say Solanke, but if you want further thoughts on that, go and watch the final thoughts video earlier. I did a whole section on that. It won't help you though. To think the last time you concealed picks, one was Salah, then wasn't really. Yeah, but that was just a joke. Alfred, how come Whitworth on bench? Guaita. So Guaita's still not fit as far as we know. I know there's like a couple of there's a picture going around that he's in training. It feels very unlikely he'd be back in the squad, to be honest. It'd be really annoying if he was back and playing. That would be quite funny, especially when I've had Everson on the bench the whole time. Jesus on free hit hasn't been revealed yet. Yeah, I think. I mean, I can't keep saying this because it'll just be a very boring stream. But the idea of the reveals this time isn't really because I want to hide it. Well, I literally want to hide it because that's what I'm doing. It's because I'm not locked in. So if I decide that I want to swap Jesus for Odegaard, I don't want the pressure. Well, you said you had Jesus and now you haven't. So it's just easy to hide it, basically. Like, yes, I've got Jesus now. I'm not like worried about telling people that. I just don't know if that will still be it by 6:30. Anyway, that's twice I've said that now in 19 minutes. So I might just stop answering those questions, I think. Am I sure Konate will start? I mean, as sure as you can be, right? He started the last, 7 or 8 games in the Premier League? Is Share being overlooked? High goal threat, second best home defence. Yeah, but most people just don't want a second Newcastle defender against Kane, really. Oh, I get what you mean. I get what you mean about Salah, yeah. Absolutely locked in. Do you think there'll be any team news? I don't think so for Liverpool. Maybe for Arsenal. I really wanted Liverpool would be so much more useful today, because I think Arsenal probably be just what everyone's thinks it's going to be anyway. I can't imagine there's too many surprises. Like, I would love for Jesus to be benched. Excuse me, and Trossard to play instead. Because then I'd definitely put Trossard in, but I don't think that's going to happen. Spurs have scored in every single game in capital letters, and then except 3. So not every game. Villa, Arsenal, and Wolves. A Newcastle clean sheet is unlikely. You could be right. Yeah, you could be right. But again, who's better than Trippier? What would you do if Martinelli is benched? Not a lot. Wait for him to come on, I guess. Nah, Darwin Nunez is too risky. No one's talking about Diaz. He could start. I would say there's almost 100%. I would say I'm 99.99% certain that Diaz will not start. He's been out for too long to risk him like that. Against Forest at home, like. Chocolate Toes, is it worth -4? Kane and March to Solanke and Salah captain. It could be, yeah. I don't mind that move. If you want to captain Salah, I like getting rid of Kane, not ideal, but yeah. Obviously, you're going to want Brighton players back from next week, though, so just think about that. Kane is very consistent, that is true. But Newcastle defence is pretty good, apart from recently. Am I sure Whitworth will be sub-goalkeeper? Goodman was on the bench last game. So he was, and I said this, I think, on the knee-jerk stream, but then everyone said that it will definitely be Whitworth, so that's what I'm going with. I feel like I should just put Everson there, just to be 100% sure. No chips left, replacing Maddison and Kane for Martinelli and Jota/Darwin for -4. I would go for Jota out of the two, but I'm not convinced either of them that is that good of a long-term pick, to be honest. Like, Maddison and Kane are both playing this week, so a -4 to get in Jota or Darwin doesn't sound great to me. Odegaard or Saka? I mean, Saka by not a mile maybe, but definitely Saka. Penalty taker, isn't he? I reckon you got Robertson, Odegaard and Solanke. I mean, I might do by the end, yeah. Might do by the end. Maddison to Saka for a -4. Bench Botman or Henry. I'd probably bench Henry. Maddison to Saka for a -4. I don't know if I would do that, to be honest. You're probably not going to captain Saka, right? I have 11 players this week. 3 hit left for 34. Payne. No, probably good. Lots of people are doing that. Do you think Bowen will be a good pick given early turnaround? I mean, look, maybe West Ham, there's a bit of European hangover, but it was at home, right? So I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. Bowen's definitely going to start, right? He hasn't not started a Premier League game all season. Saka has blanked 5 out of 6 last games. Is Jesus a better pick with 4 goals in 3? I would always just back the penalty taker, so I'd always go for Saka. How many hits would you take before activating a free hit? I mean, once you start getting into -12 territory, you're probably thinking maybe I should free hit instead. But it's only worth it if the team you've had for Game Week 31 is still the team you want in Game Week 33, right? Otherwise, you might as well just take the hits instead. Van Dijk and Eze or Gakpo and Moreno. It's quite close, to be honest. I'd probably go Van Dijk and Eze. No, I don't know if I would. I'd probably go Gakpo and Moreno, I think. There's not much in it. Pick whichever one you feel happier looking at on your screen. Don't think Villa is that good of a fixture with the form they're in. Brentford didn't score against Wolves, so not backing Tony to score against Newcastle. Villa, I guess you mean. Yeah, again, if you don't think Tony's a good pick, it's quite simple. Just don't pick him. Gakpo or Tony for that last attacking spot. Gakpo's a bit more exciting, isn't he? Please can you tell my boy Mega to get Hackpo? It'll make him happy once it's done. Now we know. Get Hackpo. Do I have to start saying Hackpo now? Did they say that on commentary? If they say Hackpo on commentary, I'll have to start saying it as well. I have to retrain my brain. Playing Moreno means going Tony to Solanke. It doesn't really. I know people don't like having defenders against attackers, but just because you get Moreno doesn't mean you have to drop Tony. Right, Tony could score, Moreno could score. Dale, you always trying these in the last? Did you try that in the last stream? It's a pretty poor attempt, got to be honest. Why not have Kane and Trippier? You could, yeah. I just think I want to back it. Like I would. The thing is, if we had one other defender that had like a really good fixture, I'd be tempted to drop Trippier as well. Have I considered Perisic for the third defender slot? I haven't considered Spurs defenders at all, really. If chasing rank, do you think Darwin is too risky on free hit? I just don't think there's a good enough chance that he starts, to be honest. So I just wouldn't do it. I think most people would agree it's probably going to be Salah, Gakpo, Jota again. I think it could be just completely the same lineup. Maybe, I don't know, one or two changes in midfield if they've got players they could bring in instead. But I think the back four and the front three will be the same. Play Solanke or Madison / Eze. I'm going to say Solanke. Solanke. Why is everyone ignoring Isak? I've seen quite a few good managers going for Isak, to be honest with you. What do you think about Trent captain? I like it, but I don't like it as much as Salah. Solanke. Klopp said changes were coming and everyone's going to play. Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean this week. It could be the next game, right? Jesus, Gakpo, Moreno, or Kane, Odegaard, Robertson. I mean, again, I think like Jesus, Gakpo, Moreno is a bit more fun, but Kane, Odegaard, Robertson is looking pretty solid, to be honest with you. I mean, on a normal week, who would I expect to score more points? Probably Kane, Odegaard, and Robertson. But on a free hit, I'd be tempted to go a bit different. NME, you can't be a member because you don't have the badge next to your name. So maybe you're on the wrong account or something, maybe. Can I show you the dog? No, dog's downstairs. She's half an hour away from dinner, so she's just going to be worried about that. Since you are a Gabriel-holic, my guess for your spot should be Solanke, Gakpo, Gabriel. No, it's still Castagna, Jesus, Gakpo right now. Any thoughts on some differentials like Tierney, Willian, or Dawson? I don't know about backing Wolves' defence, to be honest. Like, I think Leicester can score in that game. I don't see a Wolves clean sheet. I don't necessarily see a Leicester one either, to be honest with you. Tierney, there's just too much risk that Zinchenko might start. So we'd need to know Tierney was playing, I think. And then Willian's okay, but I wonder if Andreas is better with penalties. Like originally this week I was looking at Willian, but then Andreas on penalties with Mitrovic out, he's probably better, right? Start Andreas or Tony. Who, in your opinion, has the highest ceiling? Tony, I think. I mean, when you start using words like ceiling, then yeah, you could frame it that Andreas is the midfielder, clean sheet point, extra point for a goal, penalties, really bad Leeds team. But I just think Tony is the better option, to be honest with you. Top three captains, not including Salah. Probably Saka, Martinelli, Gakpo. You can maybe throw Trent in there as well if you wanted to. But that wouldn't be three. Who starts with Van Dijk? Yeah, it should be Canate. Opinions on Iheanacho, 1.1 ownership. Like, my opinion is, if he starts, nice punt. No guarantee he starts whatsoever. I do think, though, let me just double check here. Yeah, I don't think there's any injuries to any of the other. Like, I don't think Daka or Vardy is injured, right? No, so I mean maybe he'll start, but I couldn't really tell you. Fulham were on the beach. I know, Fulham were on the beach, and then they beat Everton 3-1 or whatever it was. Nick, see? I knew it. Happy days. What do I think about Jota? I like him. I prefer the Gakpo punt just because of the position he takes, really. I just spilled water. Trippier, Antonio, Anderson, and Kane. Don't like having Trippier versus Kane. Keep up the great content. French Gunner. Hello. Top 5k. Very nice. Trippier, Antonio, Anderson, and Kane. I don't know. When you put it like that, I'm thinking, is Anderson and Kane better? I'm just going to say Trippier and Antonio because that's what I've got. It's close, though. Lee, thank you. Jake, Bowen or Gakpo. Hakpo, I'd say. Maybe I should change the wording so it doesn't say reveal, because it's not really. It's just they change my mind. They're I don't know. They're the opportunity to change my mind squares, really, rather than reveal squares. Diego Costa punt. Nah, come on, really? Is that what we're looking at? I'm not sure I could get behind that. Yeah, undecided. That would be a lot quicker to say, wouldn't it? Than whatever the hell I just said. Do I see Wolves winning? I think Leicester will win. Thoughts on Vardy? Same as Iheanacho, Daka, Vardy. You just don't know who's going to start, so I'd say probably not. Antonio. Oh, do you know what? Did he get 2 goals last night? He looked alright against Arsenal. There's the nostalgia for picking Antonio. I just worry about his hamstrings. I'm going to say no. His goal threat's just dropped off so much. Going Trent, Trippier and Van Dijk. Save points in the bag. Differential is Maddison instead of Gakpo. Yeah, I think Van Dijk and Maddison versus a rubbish third defender plus Gakpo. I think it's perfectly fine to go the Van Dijk route if you want. Is Paqueta the penalty taker? I think it's still Benrahma. I didn't really see too much about it, but there was one tweet from a journalist that said David Moyes expected Benrahma to be taking it. So whether or not something else has happened now, I don't know. But I'm going to assume it's still Benrahma, but who knows? Triple Leicester and Palace free hit. That does not sound good to me. I know. Antonio, if he's fit. The thought did cross my mind. It did cross my mind. Gakpo or Bowen? I'd say Gakpo. Oh, Moy said still Benrahma. There you go. Trent, yeah, I think this goes back to previous few seasons, right? Anytime Liverpool have a really good fixture, Trent is always going to be a good captain. But if he's a good captain, Salah's always a better one, in my opinion. Thanks for the keep Salah advice. He and Trent have got me back up to 68k. Very nice. No free hit. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You've got Salah. What more do you need? I used my free hit ages ago and no wild card. I've got 10 players playing. Is it worth a -4 from Rashford to a different midfielder? Probably not. Rashford was back last night. And now they're out. They're out of Europa League, so the fixture congestion is going to get a little bit easier. So I don't think you move Rashford on. I think you want him for the rest of the season. Top 3 Liverpool picks. I would say Salah and Trent are the top 2, and then Gakpo or a defender, really, depending on which way around you want to go. Yeah, I don't think there's really a right or a wrong answer. I really don't. Isak over Tony because Isak plays on Sunday. That's not really the best way to make your picks, I would say. If you think Isak's better, perfectly fine to go with him, but don't do it just because he's playing on Sunday. With the current draft I've got, I've actually got no players playing on Sunday whatsoever. Is Darwin... honestly, if you're going to take a punt on a Liverpool forward, I prefer taking it on Jota, to be honest. I think he's more likely to start. Yeah, part of me did think about that. Jota, Gakpo and Salah. But it's just you just need a Liverpool defender and you can't drop Trent. Pull defender over Jota, not sure about that. Not much in Gakpo and Jota. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to go for a Liverpool defender over Gakpo because it's just no good defenders, right? So I think it's perfectly fine to do that. Like, you might think that Gakpo is going to outscore Robertson, but I don't think there's a huge amount in it. Whereas like a Maddison Bowen Eze versus a Castagna Moreno Anderson, I think it's close. For what, like I said, I'm on Gakpo right now, but I don't think going for the Liverpool defender is bad. Martinelli, Saka, Salah, Bowen, Gakpo in my 5 midfield, very nice. What's the highest upside in Arsenal this game? Attack, defence, or midfield? I guess if you're looking for a big score, like for a 1 week only, you're probably looking at attackers rather than the defenders, aren't you? Is there any news re Zinchenko? No, not seen anything yet. I really want Liverpool stuff. Chance of top 10k for me, I would say very unlikely. Who knows? Let's see how this free hit goes, and we'll decide from there. The thing is, if I do a poll about who are the best Liverpool assets, I'm telling you now, like Salah and Trent will obviously win, and then Gakpo will beat Robertson, because people always prefer going for attackers. But the conversation isn't just it's not just Gakpo versus Robertson. It's Gakpo plus a defender and Robertson plus a midfielder. Again, I'm on Gakpo. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit here. Had to go 5 at the back. Raya, Trent, Trippier, Zinchenko, Botman, but not playing. Yeah, I think a lot of people that are not free hitting are going to have to go 4 or 5 at the back. So it's not the end of the world, honestly. And you either have you already used your free hit, so hopefully benefited from it, or you've got it for later on. So it's not a big issue. You're struggling to drop one of the 3 Arsenal midfielders for Jesus. Honestly, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it, to be honest. Do you only do deadline reveals when you have a good rank? Nope. I did it for my wildcard reveal after the World Cup, and all I got was comments like, I can't believe this guy's not revealing his team with a rank like that, etc., etc. So I just decided to do it this year, so I've just done it every time. Moreno, Zuma, Castagna have Tony too. I'm going to say Castagna out of those 3. But again, he's rubbish, so if you don't want him, go for someone else. Why Trippier? Spurs will score. Well, who's a better defender? Who's a better defender than Trippier that's not Arsenal or Liverpool? For anyone that's like waiting for Arsenal news, even if I get sent it, there's no way I'm going to reveal it this early. And that's not to keep people in suspense. I'm just not having it all over Twitter that far before the deadline. So I'd maybe come back a lot later if that's what you're waiting for. I'll check my DMs then. Brian Feller, new member. Thank you very much. $1 million front 3. Jesus, Watkins, Isak. Surely, Isak's good. Yeah, Isak's good. I don't like weeks like this because, like, let's say game week 33, right? Let's say next week. Let's say you're not wildcard and you've used your free hit, and then you say to me, who do you prefer, Tony or Isak? Well, that's easy, right? Isak is not 1 yellow card away from a suspension, although I think Tony would be clear after this week. He's not near a ban. and Isak has got a double in 36. So I'd probably go Isak over Tony. But this week, whoever. If you want to go for Isak, go for Isak. It's one game week only. Anything can happen. You know, next week, do I go for Trent or Chilwell? Easy, Trent, right? No questions asked. This week, there's genuinely loads of different players. Loads of close calls. You probably answered this, but Gakpo and Castagna or any defender from Liverpool Arsenal versus Madison. Wait, what? What? Gakpo plus Castagna or any defender. Do you mean not Liverpool Arsenal? Versus Maddison and Robertson has to be the latter. I know, this is what I keep coming back to. It does make more sense on paper, yes. I agree. When you say it out loud, I'm either going to have Robertson and Maddison or Castagna and Gakpo. Absolutely makes more sense to have Maddison and Robertson. Absolutely. But I feel like I want to go a little bit puntier than that. But then again, Gakpo's in every team, so it's not really a punt. Arsenal captain, if I had to pick one, that would be my vice captain, Saka. Start Watkins or Solanke? Watkins, yeah, definitely. Eze or Solanke on free hit? Solanke, I think. Is Darren Noodles worth a punt? Absolutely not. The Noodle Man, hell no. I'm in Spain, so it's 6:30. Can you reveal? Hang on. I'm just gonna... Oh, hang on. How can I do this? Let me just make this... Okay, I'm just gonna watch the screen now. I don't know. It might be so small. It might not update. This is to get rid of anyone on a... Not get rid of them, sorry, but just to appease everyone on a different time zone. There you go. We've added a UK in there. Sorry, people in Spain. How many copies of FIFA can you buy from the total money you earn in one stream? I would say roughly 27,000 copies, roughly. Villa taking the most points last 6 game weeks. Moreno versus Tony. I prefer Moreno. Go for Moreno. Who would you captain between Mars? Like I guess. I don't know. Like, it's not that I don't want to give of course I want to give an opinion, right? I prefer Tony over Isak. That's why I've got him in my team. But it's not really a strong argument for it. Like, if you want to go for Isak, you should. I don't want to talk people out of the moves they want to go for on a free hit. That's not how you should play the free hit. Like, Isak could score a hat-trick and Tony could get sent off. Like, it's just one of those things that could happen in a specific game. Like I said, next week when we start talking about longer-term picks, 4 or 5 weeks, it's much easier to have a strong opinion. You can look at their numbers for the season, the fixtures they got coming up. And, of course, you can do that this week. But when it's a one-game-week punt only, you shouldn't worry so much about these moves, I don't think. 1.3 million a stream. That sounds about right, yeah. Would you captain between... Who would you captain between Martinelli, Saka, Tony, Kane and Watkins? I have Trent but no Saka. Wait, what? You've got Saka, it says in the first thing. I would go Saka out of those. Captain Kane, he hasn't blanked twice all season. That's not a good reason to captain someone, I don't think. So no. Tony or Eze or Kane? I'm going to say Tony, but it's close with Kane. I definitely prefer both of them over Eze. Just jump in and say thank you for your content. No worries. Thanks for watching. Fascinating to see you turn things around recently. I'm due a red arrow. If I get a red arrow on my free hit, that would be a nightmare. You never want a red arrow on a free hit. Because obviously there'll be some people out there that don't even have 11 players. It's got to be a green arrow this week. I'm feeling a lot more confident after getting a green arrow in Game Week 30 and 31. Because I thought for sure I was going to not necessarily drop loads, but get a few small red arrows. So to get 2 greens and then get a free hit, obviously some people will wildcard next week and I might have to take a hit in Game Week 33. So I'll probably get a red arrow next week. But from 34 onwards, I'm hoping we can maybe continue the greens. We'll see. Free hit is a guaranteed a green arrow as long as Arsenal and Liverpool win. Yeah, pretty much. But we'll see. Are you so set on Tony we're not going to convince you? I don't think so. I got to be honest, like... I obviously do think about my team, right? I make FPL content, so I do think about these things. But ultimately, once I've made a decision, unless there's some last minute panic or someone's got a very good reason that I haven't thought of, I don't really like changing my picks just for the sake of it. So as soon as I think I sold Tony, whenever it was, like game week 29 game week 30, I was already thinking, if he's not suspended by 32, I'll just get him back on the free hit. And he's not suspended, he's not banned. Okay, Villa have had some pretty good results and lots of clean sheets. But in the last 3 away games, especially against Chelsea and West Ham, they did concede quite a few chances. And Brentford are pretty decent. So I don't think anyone can convince me not to go for Tony, really. Isak or Slanky? I'm going to say Slanky, but lots of people think Isak. Maybe I'm a little bit slow on how good of an option Isak is. Definitely possible. Best triple captain on game week 34. I mean, it's probably Haaland. If you want to mix it up a bit, go Salah. I think you really need to look at 3-5-2. The Arsenal and Liverpool games could get 8 to 10 goals. Why do you need a 3-5-2 for that, though? You're not going 3 Liverpool and 3 Arsenal attackers, surely. So even in a 3-4-3, you can still have 5. Nick, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Daniel, Jesus or Odegaard? I think Odegaard is the kind of safer minutes pick, but Jesus, I just find it a bit boring to go Odegaard. But if you're looking at it from an ownership perspective, Odegaard's probably going to be lower owned this week, I reckon. Moreno or Castagna? I'm probably, if I have to go for one of those, I'm going to go for Castagna. But I think I'm very much in the minority of people that prefer that. I think most people want to go for Moreno instead. So again, if you think Villa are going to keep up these defensive returns, etc., then you should probably go for Moreno instead. I wonder if it's going to get to the point where Liverpool defence is so highly owned this week, because some people will captain Trent, that I'll actually want them to concede if I don't have the second. Yeah, Leicester are shocking. I completely agree. Castagna's a really bad pick. Wait, Stephen, look at that. 60 months member. Thank you very much. 5 years. That is absolutely mad. Thank you very much. Like I've always said, you were signed up before it was even called members. It was something else. We're thinking of going Andreas in 5-man midfield. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. Let's say the other midfielders are Salah, Saka, Martinelli, and Gakpo, which a lot of people have got. Then you're looking at Andreas, Bowen, Maddison, Eze, probably the next top 4 people are looking at. I think Andreas is fine. You can't imagine a world where Fulham don't score against Leeds. His numbers looking alright last few. Penalties as well. Fulham versus Leeds goals written all over it. Aren't we missing something? We're missing a Mitrovic. If Mitrovic wasn't suspended, Mitrovic would be in this team. For sure. Maybe even ahead of Tony. I think if Mitrovic was fit for Leeds at home this week, I'd definitely drop Jesus, I think, and go Odegaard and Robertson, but he's not. Castagna's giving me the obscure Andy Pick vibes that usually mean unexpected points. Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire hasn't got anything, though. Honestly, I genuinely don't think Castagna's that great of an option. I just don't think there's too many guarantees when it comes to kind of third defenders, unless you want to double up. If you want to double up on the Newcastle defence or the Palace defence, then maybe there's better choices. Anderson, for example, in isolation, Anderson might be a better pick than Castagna, but because I've got Johnson in goal, I think I'd rather just split my risk or however you want to say it, really. You don't need Liverpool or Arsenal defence. Neither are that reliable and far more interested in attack. I don't completely agree, to be honest. Nottingham Forest is such a good fixture at home. There's every chance Liverpool get a clean sheet. And even without Saliba and maybe Zinchenko, I would still expect Arsenal to be, or to have a pretty good chance of a clean sheet. So I think both are really good. Yeah, hedge your bets probably. I don't know. There's part of me that just wants to go through with Castagna now. The thing is, like, if Robertson and Maddison, if Robertson and Maddison outscore Castagna and Gakpo, I can't really complain about it. Someone's cutting the grass. Can you hear that? Can you hear that someone's cutting the grass? Are we saying that White is a more exciting pick than Gabriel? I think the way he's playing recently, possibly. I would probably still pick Gabriel just because I've been on him all season, but I think it's perfectly fine to go for Ben White. You're going for Suter. The thing is, if they play a back three again, I want Castagna. Wait, can you actually hear it? I was joking. Okay, you'll have to let me know if it gets really annoying because ultimately I want the window open. Or you're talking yourself into a random defender instead of Robertson. Just the thing is, right? I'm doing what you should not do in FPL, right? And I've said I feel like once I get a thing in my head, I kind of repeat it probably too often. But I have said a lot recently that when we're making picks, we always picture like the absolute best outcome instead of what's likely to happen. So I'm doing the opposite right now, Castagna. I'm picturing clean sheet, wing back, scores a goal as well, 12, 15 pointer, when realistically he's probably going to finish on 1 or 2 points. If the Pope gave you a Alessandro shirt, would you be pleased or would you be salty that it was a re-gift? I kind of like it. What happened there, by the way? Why was that the choice of shirt? I make decisions based off heart/enjoyment all the time. I know, but like, I don't know. The fact we're on a free hit makes me think I should do it. The fact we're on a free hit makes me think I should do it because I feel like the rest of the team is all just solid picks. Like Tony, Watkins, Saka, Salah, Martinelli, Trent, Trippier, Johnston. There's nothing wrong with those picks whatsoever. Even Jesus. Oh, the Pope's Argentinian, is he? Okay, fair enough. I've got to be honest, I don't really pay too much attention to the Pope, so I didn't know that. The only Pope I know is English. And he plays for Newcastle. Tony or Bowen? Tony. Tom, thank you. Daniel, what do you think about Robertson, Odegaard, Solanke, Isak? I think it's great. Basically, that's my choice. Castagna, Gakpo, Jesus, or Robertson, Odegaard, Solanke. Now, do I think as a longer term pick, which would be better? Probably Robertson, Odegaard, Solanke, but for a 1 week punt, I'm tempted to go a little bit different. Gakpo and Castagna or Maddison and Robertson, or is there something else we're missing? Tom, honestly, that's what I've just been discussing. Go with the one you're happier with. I don't think there's a huge amount in it. Like, I think if I was going to say which are the more solid picks, whatever the hell that means, I'd say Maddison and Robertson. But I kind of like the punts on Gakpo and Castagna, gotta be honest. I really think I've talked myself into Castagna at this point. I don't know why. How did we get to this? At what point did I first put him into my team? But it's really sunny, and it's very dark on one side of my face. The Pope's Argentinian. I've learnt a lot today. I definitely haven't gone Kane, but I could go Kane. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. Basically, what my plan is, if I change my mind about any of these picks, right, because obviously I can't move this screen because it might show what they are, I'm going to do it on my other screen and then transfer it across. I just don't know who to move Castagna to. Not that I'm convinced there's just nowhere to go. Well, you could go to Moreno. You could go to a Wolves defender. You could go to a second Newcastle defender. You could go to a second Palace defender. I wish there was someone other than Castagna in the defence. Would like to go Leno and then a Palace defender, but they're just so boring. Yeah, exactly. You do want some kind of attacking. Like, if you're not convinced about the clean sheet whatsoever, then you really need that attacking potential. So that's why so many people are looking at Alex Moreno. Plus the fact that Villa have obviously kept a few clean sheets. So I don't mind Moreno as a pick. But I just don't think... I just think Brentford are going to score. So... By the way, don't get Castagna and then blame me. Honestly, I'm telling you now, Castagna's a rubbish pick. In isolation, Castagna's a rubbish pick. He's a rubbish pick. Would you play 10 or hit out Haaland for a forward to get 11 play and then bring him back next week? I think if you're doing like a switch like people did for Game Week 28, like if you did Haaland to a forward that you're going to keep, then you're going to sell a different forward instead back to Haaland, maybe that would work. But I think in most cases you're probably better off not using 2 transfers. I don't know. I got to be honest. In that position, I feel like I would maybe make the move, especially if I wasn't going to lose any money, because it would just be a bit more fun to get that 11th forward in, especially if it was like a Jesus or someone like that. But I don't think you have to by any stretch. I will go with Jesus, but I'm afraid he will not striker. I mean, he's been starting all the time recently. Georgios. I won't pronounce the second name. Hopefully I got the first name right. Thank you very much. No, I'm not captaining Castagna. Anyone go on Bowen? If not, why not? I mean, there's just lots of other good picks, isn't there? Like, Bowen's good, but Bowen. I did a draft like back in March 20th. I actually had Ings and Bowen on it. So I did think about Bowen originally, but now, I think what the big thing that's changed is Gakpo did well in the last game. So we've all knee-jerked him in. And let's be real, that is what's happened, right? Not many people were considering Gakpo before he did really well in the last game, myself included. So now that's taken up one more midfield spot. So if you've got Salah, Saka, Martinelli and Gakpo, unless you're on a 5-man midfield, there's not really any room for Bowen. So that's why you're not seeing him that much. As a Leicester fan, I strongly advise against Castagna for anyone out there. Just don't do it with the Leicester defence. Not worth it. I completely agree. He's rubbish. He's rubbish. But imagine if they get the clean sheet. Imagine if he scores a goal. Imagine if he doesn't. Why is Gakpo hidden if you talk? Because I might change my mind. And I want to be allowed to change my mind without people moaning that I've done it. The thing is, I can't really win either way, right? If I get rid of the reveals and then I change it with like a couple of minutes to go, then people will moan. If I put the reveals up, people moan. If I put the reveals up and tell you who's behind them, people moan. So like, you can't really. It's impossible to win, Still waiting on Zinchenko news. Should I take the hit and transfer him for Trent? I would just try and wait as late as possible. I suspect I will get the Arsenal news eventually. But like I said earlier, I wouldn't want to reveal it too early anyway. So maybe we'll leave it till. Maybe I'll check and see if we got it with 15 minutes to go or something like that. I mean, I guess you're going to want Trent longer term anyway. But I would probably just hold on to Zinchenko just in case. For now, especially if you can wait until the deadline. If you want to go Leicester defence, I'd go Suter. And Will's not good from corners and set pieces. And I've seen other people going for him. I think I'm just going to stick with Castagna and hope he plays right wing back. If he doesn't, things look bad. Robertson on Odegaard or Gabriel, Martinelli and Gabriel and Gakpo. I'm going to say Robertson and Odegaard. I think. But Gakpo's probably a bit more fun. Madison and Robertson or Castagna and Gakpo. Again, I really can't help you with that. Pick whichever one you prefer. I've talked about this a million times on stream now. I'm going round and round in circles. I don't know is the honest answer. That is probably my debate though. Castagna and Gakpo or Madison and Robertson. It could be Bowen and Robertson, I guess. I'll probably go Madison for the home fixture. Maybe I'll just ditch my third Liverpool player and I'll just go Castagna and Madison. Oh, would I start Madison or Isak? Probably Isak, I think. Castagna only has 2.2 form and Leicester do not look good defensively. Big gamble, in my opinion. Completely agree. Like I said, Castagna is rubbish. I want to reiterate that plenty of times. Castagna is rubbish. Castagna is rubbish. Do not buy Castagna. He's rubbish. But I might keep him. Any chance of Darwin instead of Tony? I just don't think there's a good enough chance that Darwin will start. It's just too much of a punt. Oh, interesting. Someone says that Xhaka... the AFC newsroom had tweeted, Zinchenko was with the team walking to the coach. Granit Xhaka was not. You think Xhaka would be in it? Is Gakpo nailed? I don't know if I would be prepared to say nailed. I think there's a very good chance he scores. Jeez. Very good chance he starts. Odegaard plays deeper without Xhaka, in my opinion. It doesn't. By the way, that doesn't say he's definitely out. It just says was with the team walking to the coach. Granit Xhaka was not. That's all it says. Maybe he was already on the coach. I mean, it's a home game anyway, right? We're on the hunt for news. We're on the hunt for news. Do I think Gakpo's more likely to start than Jota? Yes, although I think they'll probably both start. Maddison or Andreas? I'm curious as to why Andreas bench. I don't have enough money for Maddison. It would be Maddison probably instead of Andreas, but I don't have enough money for that move. I am starting to think, like, is there some players on my bench that I've got wrong? Should I have spent a bit more money? I don't think there is really, because like there's loads of money to spend, but there's not really anywhere to spend it. What is this blinking in front of his mic? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, was the typing getting annoying? Typing's not... Yeah, sorry. There's no other way to do it unless I mute the mic. I could do that. Why have you got a deadline reveal sticker? I'm not going for it. Your typing speed is incredible. Yeah, it's years of sitting in front of a computer. Kane, Odegaard, Robertson, or Jesus, Gakpo, and defender. I'm going to say Jesus, Gakpo, and defender is a bit more fun. But like I said earlier, Kane, Odegaard, and Robertson is probably safer. And by safer, I mean like they're just more kind of reliable in terms of starts, minutes, and general. Well, I guess not points, but starts and minutes. But I'd probably go the other way. RTX voice removes keyboard noise on stream. Oh, does it now? I'll have to try that out. I've got an RTX. Do you mean like is RTX is in like AMD, right? Is Salah, Trent, and Jesus worth a -4? Potentially, depending on who you're getting rid of, especially if you're going to captain Salah. Who's the best Palace defender besides Johnston? I'd probably go Anderson. I think his expected goals and expected assists combined are a little bit better. There's not much in it. If you want to go for Gay or Mitchell, then you probably just should. Okay, I'm just gonna sound. I really want Liverpool stuff. I've briefly considered Antonio, but I just don't think I can go there. Just don't think I can go there. Bowen over Watkins in a 3-5-2. Chasing rank. You could do that to go different, yeah. Depending on how much you've got to chase. That is the kind of... Like, I think betting against the higher owned players like Trippier and Watkins, maybe Kane, is not a bad play. Jack is spotted riding his scooter. I'm just trying to so anyone waiting for Arsenal news, I'm just kind of trying to verify this stuff about Xhaka just to kind of get an idea about the rest of the team, really. Who's doing their lawn? I don't know. We did ours. Oh, it might be next door. There is this round oval-shaped glass that changes colour or picture where the mic is held up. Anyone else noticing it? Wait, what? Is it this? No. Like here, is it? Like up here? Here. This? Is it this bit I got my finger on? That's just like a... It's like a mirror effect, I guess. So it's reflecting the colours on the screen. Not really. I mean, if it's really annoying, I could put like a black sticker over it for next time. No, it's just reflecting colours off the screen, basically. So like right now, so on my screen I've got the chat in a separate window, so I'm scrolling the chat back and forward. So that's all it is. It's just reflecting that, depending on where it is on the screen. Anyway, if it's really annoying, I'll let you know. Bowen, oh yeah. Kane, Eze and White, or Tony Saka and defender. Tony Saka and defender, I think. Why are people saying Moreno over Mings? Just because he's more attacking. It would be funny if Luka Dean started, though. I don't think there's much chance of that. Maddison, Saka, Salah, Martinelli midfield. Van Dijk, Trent, Trippier defence. Sounds great. Give us a hint on the midfielder. They cost less than 10 million. And I've already mentioned like a million times so far. You've concluded on Maddison and Robertson. Check my first draft and free hit and only changes Odegaard to Jesus. Trust the instincts. Yeah, Robertson and Maddison is definitely the more obvious choice, I think. Jeffrey, new member, thank you very much. Glyn, 10-month member, thank you very much. Marino or Anderson? I'm going to say Anderson in isolation, yeah. If you don't want to go double... If you've got Johnson, you don't want to go double Palace, then fair enough. But I think Anderson is slightly better. David, thank you very much. No, I get the grass being cut thing. It is a bit annoying to hear sounds like that, but it's much better for me to have the window open. If we find out Trossard starts, who are you bringing him in for? Jesus. I think I'm going 3-4-3, yeah. I think so. On the goddamn diamonds. Have I ever been told I sound like Rio Ferdinand? No, probably because I do not sound like Rio Ferdinand, I'm pretty sure. Why spend so much in deep bench? What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I could get Maddison, I suppose. Instead of Andreas. I mean, most of my players are going to start, so it's really not a problem. Like, all of my attackers, I'm fairly certain, are going to start. I mean, I'd have to make up 0.8 million, so I'd have to sell 2 of my defenders to cheap ones just to get Maddison. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Do. Oh, someone just. Oh, no way! Someone. The person that sometimes gives me like Liverpool stuff or has done in the past. In one of their drafts, they've got Castagna and Maddison. They've actually done it. They got Castagna and Maddison in both drafts. Oh my god. You have more team value than I. Then you've. Well, who have you got then? Who have you got in your team that I haven't got? Do. Saka and Robertson or Gabriel and Bowen? Saka and Robertson, I think. I would always want 3 from Liverpool and Arsenal. Salah benched. Imagine. Peak Drogba or peak Almiron. I'm gonna say Almiron. Is a -4 Salah captain and Solanke for Grealish and Haaland worth it? If I don't take the -4, I'll only have 8 players active. Can't reach Salah without -4. I mean, it could be worth it, but you've got to have a plan to get Haaland back. You could maybe risk it for game week 33, but you've got to have him back for game week 34. So I would question how easy that will be. That's the only thing. Okay, we're not getting any Liverpool news for anyone that's waiting for that. Nothing that we can make use of anyway, unfortunately. Mark, thank you very much. Father Putra. Johnson, Trippier, Zinchenko, Trent, Henry, Maddison. What do you think? No free hit. Johnson, I mean, it sounds Johnston on no free hit. Isak, Tony Watkins, good. Saka, Salah, Maddison, good. Back 4, good. Are Fulham defenders overlooked? Yes, but I think for pretty good reason. Like, Fulham can win that game, but I would expect Lee to score. I swear you never answer. I love people like that. Like, there's literally 11,000 people watching. Now, I'm not saying they're all putting messages in the chat, but like, there's only so many messages I can get back to, you know. Just seen Jesus in Audi. Your bench will only play if you own Gakpo, Jota, or Darwin. You think Gakpo is going to get benched here? Could happen. Maddison and Robertson's definitely a little bit safer. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm just sticking. Why? How do we have Castagna in our team? People don't. There's no need for fake news that you don't have. Honestly, there's not really any love for Castagna. I just don't love any defender that's not Trippier, Robertson, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Ben White, or Trent. Really. You captain Andreas. Oof, interesting. Interesting. That is definitely a bit differential. But just with the Arsenal stuff, the Xhaka, the stuff around Xhaka going around has got me a little bit spooked about what the rest of the team is. So I'm just giving it a few more minutes just to see if I get anything back about Xhaka, and then we'll go from there. That's all. I'm gonna do a quick selfish poll. I'm gonna do a selfish poll. Let's see what comes out. Selfish poll. Oh, it's close. It's close. I'm not participating in a poll where there is no choice to not have Leicester players. Okay, I like it. Arsenal game postponed. That would be funny. That would be funny. Although on a free hit, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like, obviously, there'd be like if they suddenly said, "Oh, the Arsenal game's off." Okay, it would be a last minute panic for like 14 minutes. But on a free hit, that would actually probably be a good thing on a free hit. Like we want to captain Salah anyway. People who are without free hit are going to have 2 to 3 Arsenal players. So I would just swap my Arsenal boys to like Solanke, Bowen, Maddison. Job done. Job done. You'd be raging because you're on the way there. Yeah, that's fair. I'm not saying I want it off. I'm just saying it wouldn't be the end of the world on a free hit. It'd actually be a good thing. We benefit more if we weren't on a free hit. Jesus started driving the team bus. Navas to Ramsdale for -4. Not on free hit and wildcard 33-34. Probably not, right? Don't think so. Did you not have Guaita on your bench? I did think about that because he's trained, but surely he's not going to be fit enough to be in the squad, is he? I did think about that. How unlucky would I have to get to not have a goalkeeper? Part of me thinks I should just put Everson back in. That's who I had before. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Everson in, I think. But then again, that's double. No, I know that Whitworth's not going to. Yeah, Whitworth's not going to start over John. Okay, I'm going to put Guaita in. Nah, he's flat. No, I'm not going to. No, stop putting these thoughts in my head. If you ever get there. Don't wait until the last minute. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go Castagna. I think I'm going to go Castagna, Gakpo, Jesus. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm gatekeeping my picks that I've said a million times what they are. Like anyone who's watched the stream for more than about 5 minutes knows what those picks are. So unless I get a change of thought in the next 10 minutes, am I listening to Coolio? I am, yeah. Kelechi Iheanacho has only started 7 league games this season and has a higher XG 0.64 than all other Leicester players combined. Wait, what? That I'm not sure what that means. 0.64. So with the Arsenal stuff, the Xhaka stuff going on. So this is why like I'm a bit worried about the Arsenal team news, because I had Xhaka down as in the squad, as in the starting 11, and obviously all this stuff has started going around that whatever it says, like Granit Xhaka was not seen walking to the team coach. I've tried to find out. All I know is it's not. I don't think it's definite that he's out, Xhaka. But anyway, we don't really care about that. Rest of the team is as you'd expect. And Zinchenko's fine, basically. That's it. There's no Liverpool team used. The Arsenal team is basically what you'd expect it to be, and Zinchenko's back. So don't put Tierney into your free hit teams. That's the info that I've got anyway. With Xhaka, I don't know. He may or may not be in a team, but it's not really going to affect us much from an FPL point of view. But I don't think he's completely ruled out yet. But we'll see later. I don't know who you're hearing Jesus' bench. As far as I know, Jesus is playing. It's the same team as last week, apart from Zinchenko and for Tierney, and now maybe Xhaka out, but I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know about the squad. Can you get the info if Xhaka starts? I really don't care whether Xhaka starts or not, if I'm honest. I don't think it's going to come in now. I'm not going to push for that news, to be honest. I don't think it really matters too much to us. I mean, are they slightly weaker with him, maybe? Yeah. But I don't think it's a big deal. Shout out Louis. Loves watching the videos, apparently. Happy days. Wait, what? No, I think people seeing no Jesus are getting trolled. I don't know why everyone's so excited about the Arsenal news. I really wanted the bloody Liverpool news. The one thing when I saw Zinchenko starting, I do wonder whether I should just go for an Arsenal defender now. No, I don't want to get rid of Jesus. I'm staying. Apparently Ramsdale starts. I've heard that's true as well. Team News and Ticks hasn't said that. Come on. You're being trolled. What do I think the safety score will be? I mean, it's pretty good fixtures for Arsenal and Liverpool, isn't it? So I'm going to say, I mean, 60 is quite high, isn't it? I don't know. What's a 57, maybe? The news I have is that Jesus is starting. As always, like, I can never 100% confirm it. It's not like Arteta has messaged me. But yeah. Arteta's been sacked. Damn, harsh, man. I think I can't. Do you know what? I can't believe how kind of I've literally this is like therapy for me. I've basically talked myself into the fact that picking Castagna is okay, and I'm actually feeling quite calm about my team. I think I don't think there's any last minute panic. I mean, there's part of me that wants to go. I think I'm pretty locked in with Jesus at this point. I still think maybe Odegaard might outscore him, but I've got to go with him. I think so. It's really just Robertson and Maddison. Robertson and Maddison versus Gap. Oh, I just realised I've still got the poll left. Yeah, most people majority saying Castagna and Gakpo, but that's because they want me to do bad. That's because they want me to do bad. Zinchenko's starting apparently. Should be panicking about Tony? Nah, not really. I think I'm kind of okay with it. Oh, so FPL Salah has had the same team as me for a while. I've just seen their reveal, and it's very similar. Apart from they've gone for the double Palace defense, they're not going for the Castagna punt. Thierry Henry is dying. FPL South has the line. I'll tell you now, I don't want to... Maybe it's not for this reason, but I've got FPL South blocked, which probably means they've put out fake team news before or news that wasn't right. And also, I've just told you the team. So, like, I don't need to double check it. I've just told you what's going on. I'm feeling pretty good about the team, I think. Phil Neville starts. How do I feel about Man United getting knocked out of the Europa League? I mean, not great, but I got to be honest. Once we didn't go 3-0 up and we drew 2-2, I kind of thought that might be it. Now, we'll still leave the reveals to the end. The funny thing is, honestly, I'm not even joking. I have mentioned the players. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate, but I would say at least 57,000 times I've mentioned which players they are. And I haven't tinkered at all. And I'm never trying to trick you, so I'm being honest. So you know who the reveals are. You know who the reveals are. I am clicking points, then pick team, points, then click team to make sure that I'm locked in. Because twice earlier, I logged onto my phone and checked my team, and they had weird players on the bench because I hadn't saved it. So make sure you save it. Make sure you save it. Why not a Moreno punt? I fancy it. Go for Moreno, honestly. Lots of people are going for him. Go for him. Go for him. Do it right now. Do it right now. I'm going for Castagna, even though Castagna's rubbish. You've only mentioned them 56,675 times. That sounds more accurate. Yeah, it's the bench. The only reason I did the... I can't remember why I did... Oh, yeah. The reason that I did the bench reveal is in case I swap them around. So basically, the bench is Anderson. So in case I wanted to go double Palace defence instead of Castagna, I wanted to be able to swap them around without people moaning. So there you go. There's the bench as well. Do we panic about possible Arsenal rest? Like I said, as far as I know, from the usual source, the Arsenal team is the same as the team against West Ham, apart from Zinchenko's in for Tierney, and obviously when they sent the team, it said Xhaka, but then there's rumours going around Xhaka might not be in. I don't know. I don't think he's completely ruled out, but he might not be in the 11. So that might be a change, but for FPL it doesn't matter, right? No, FPL Salah hasn't tweeted that. Stop getting... check people's handles when you see tweets. Yes, Kieran, it's not literally the same as West Ham, but it's a lot easier than just saying the team, right? You can just go and check it. Right, you got 10 seconds left. I'm locked in. Oh, sugar. Okay, one more time. Pick team, captain on Salah, vice captain Saka, free hit active, save my team is blanked. I think we're done. We are locked in. Oh my god, now I can reveal who these players are. What if I've done something different? What if I switch to man? Not even. Do you know what I've just realised? Do you know what I've just realised? I've not even. This is not a setup. This is not a setup. But you're not going to believe. You're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me. So, it's not a setup, right? You're not going to believe me until FPL until it updates. You're not going to believe me until you go and check my team, right? I'm not teasing you. Okay, so look. I promise you, I'm not teasing you. It's back. We're back. I'm just on my phone messaging you with the 4G. Oh my God's sake. We're back. We're back. I cannot believe that basically happened at the start of the stream and right at the end. And not professional. Come on. I'm not like sat here hoping my internet goes down. Give me a break, like. Anyway, so I'm telling you now, this is the actual team. Right? Oh no! So I clicked it and it's updating. Oh yeah, this is the wait. Hang on. Yeah, this is the actual team. So this now looks a bit confusing, right? But when I set the stream up, I had it like this with Anderson and Castagna on the bench, right? So when I set the stream up, that's what it was like. But as I was going through the stream, I put Castagna in instead of Anderson. So that is the team right there. Salah captain, because look, save your team is blanked out. It is on there as well, actually, but this should be the team. I can't refresh because it will update. So I've got Castagna, Gakpo, Jesus, Salah captain. Let's hope Castagna does something. It wasn't planned. Honestly, when I set the stream up, I obviously had Anderson in for some reason. I can't remember why. But that is why I blanked this defender on the bench, because I wanted to be able to change it. Anyway, the whole time I told you Castagna was playing. So Castagna will be playing. When the game updates, go and check my team. I'm telling you now, because we're back. I literally have to sit here and wait for the internet to reconnect. It's gone. Is it gone again? It's showing no internet. Yeah, my internet's. I don't know why it's doing it right now. The weird thing is, on my computer screen, it's showing that I've got no internet. But on OBS, it's showing I've got really good internet, so I don't know. Yeah, I know. Surely no one believes you did it on purpose, as if Castagna versus Anderson was a massive talking point. Exactly, right? It was just an accident. Because basically, when I do that, so when this team was loaded, and I do the reveals, right, like this, I don't check. I don't. Once that's in like that, I don't move that screen. Otherwise, it might reveal them, right? So on my other screen, I'm playing around with a team, and I've locked in like this. So that's the team. You'll see when FPL updates anyway. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please do give the stream a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. I want to hit 340k before the end of the season. I think 350k, very unlikely. So let's go for 340k. So if you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you do. I will catch you on Sunday for the knee-jerk stream. Like I said, when you see my team update, you'll see that Castagna's in there, as if like he's this big pick. I told you ages ago he was going to be in. Anyway, I'm off. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck, and I'll catch you again soon. Thanks for bearing with me for all these annoying internet issues. And yeah, I'll see you later.